Hey, what's up guys, TechTine here and I'm back again with a brand new video. Before I begin, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you do enjoy my content, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So with that being said, I finally got my hands on the brand new Galaxy A17 5G. Now, this phone is not officially out in the US, but to be honest with you, I couldn't wait until the US model launches. I just wanted to get my hands on it and give you guys this is going to be the first look. There's going to be many videos about this phone, so stay tuned. But let's go ahead and have a discussion about it. I've had it for a few hours now. One of the first things that I can say is, from a design perspective, they really didn't change much, but they did refine the phone. So the back has this sort of matte finish to it, which is kind of interesting. I feel like every single generation they switch it up. They like to go from glossy to matte to glossy to matte, and it's been like that ever since they launched the Galaxy A13. Now, on the back of the phone, you also have your triple camera setup, which if you look at the camera housing itself, it aligns with something like a Galaxy A26 and the Galaxy A36. And on the right hand side, you do get your power button that doubles as a fingerprint sensor and your volume up and down. Now, even in 2025, we still have the same plastic housing, which I'm not really too mad at it, but the price did increase of the phone. We'll save that until the end of the video. Also, one of the biggest changes from a design perspective is now this phone is thinner than the previous model. So the Galaxy A16 had a thickness of 7.9 millimeters. The Galaxy A17 shaves that by a little bit to 7.5. Again, on the bottom this year, we still don't get a headphone jack. I think that's just gone for good, so keep that in mind. You still get a microphone, your USB-C that's capable of 25 watt of fast charging, as well as your bottom facing speaker. And this phone also, again, this year does support IP54, which is basically splash resistant but not water resistant. Now, also I want to mention that this phone is 8 grams lighter than the previous model. So they did slim it down, make it lighter, and sort of refine it in a way, but it wasn't like a complete overhaul of a design change. Now, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but the US model might receive a price increase of $50. Now, the model that I have has a 256 gig of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it did run me $280. But that's just the international model. The US model, I would say TBD. So we'll see how much it would cost once it officially launches here in the US. Now, the next conversation I want to have is about the display. So it's pretty much the exact same display as the previous model. So you still get a 6.7 inch 2340 by 1080p. It is a Super AMOLED display with 90 Hz support and 800 nits of peak brightness. You still get these sort of large bezels that you might like, you might not like. That's all dependent on you. But yeah, these bezels seem a little bit outdated in my opinion. Overall though, I wasn't really disappointed from the previous generation's display. I'm still not going to be disappointed with this generation's display. Depending on the 2026 Moto G, hopefully it comes with a 1080p panel. Otherwise, this is going to be the best phone of that price segment. Now, the other conversation that I want to have is within the performance. It's also a category that sort of Samsung didn't really change much. Now, mind you, I did get the sort of 256 gig of storage and the 8 gigabytes of RAM, but if it's anything like the previous generation, the US model did launch with 128 gig of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM or 4 gigabytes of RAM, which would be horrible, by the way. But the chipset is the same Exynos 1330 based on a 5nm architecture. It is octa-core and it does have the Mali G68 for your GPU. I will be doing a more extensive performance test in my full review, so stay tuned for that. Now, as for the camera itself, you do get a triple camera setup, and it's, again, the same camera setup from the previous generation, except this time around, the main sensor does get optical image stabilization. So it's a 50 megapixel sensor with OIS, and you get a 5 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel f2.4 macro sensor. Now, there's still no support for 4K video, so the max that you can get out of it is 1080p at 30 frames per second, which is a little bit disappointing, but that's just what you get. A 13 megapixel for your front-facing camera, as well as support for 1080p video. So the camera department might not be the most impressive, but hey, that's just what Samsung decided to give us this year. And to be honest with you, overall, my first impressions are this. This is definitely more of a refined phone, but I wish that they changed a little bit more. I wish that they gave us a slightly better chipset, slightly better camera, support for 4K. Yeah, I'm going to save that for my full review, so stay tuned for that. But this has been my first impressions of the Galaxy A17. Tell me what you guys think. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Leave it in the comments below. With that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate everyone for staying tuned and watching the video all the way. So thank you all so much for watching. I will definitely catch you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.